This week in your child's homework packet, you'll probably see a couple pages of math problems that include a grid similar to the one that you see right here on the right-hand side of your screen. I know sometimes the way that students are taught math is not the way that we were taught when we were children. So I thought that hopefully this screencast will help provide some assistance. If your child does have some questions at home, they could watch this video, or you could watch it and perhaps gain some understanding of exactly how we're trying to use the grid to help us with addition and subtraction. I know often my own kids come home and they say, we never did that at school. So hopefully this will help as you see exactly what we have been doing in school. In order to complete this math homework, they will need either colored pencils or crayons to help them to be able to differentiate the numbers that they'll be adding on their 100 grid. So first we always start reading our problem. Mrs. Tuttle had 24 beach stickers. Then she got 31 flip-flop stickers. How many stickers does she have now? And then we're also going to find out how many more does she need to get to 100. So the way that we've been doing this is we take our two colors and we first want to make sure that we know the two numbers that we're going to be working with. Then we're going to, once we know we're doing 24 plus 31, we start filling in our grid. We have been working on adding our tens and ones, so we're going to take our 24 and first add our two tens, and then we're going to add our four ones. We've talked about how instead of coloring them in and wasting our time, we just write lines in order to represent the ones that are filled. Then we're going to add our 31. We always add our tens first because that's easy for us to do. So we add our 3 tens in our second color for our second number. And we have to go back and we always have to fill in a row of tens first, so we're going to add our 1 right there. When we come back to write our number sentence, we want to know how many do we have all together. Well, we had 24 plus 31, and then we're going to go back and count our tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So I know I have 5 tens, and then I'm going to count my singles or my ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I now know that 24 plus 31 equals 55. Now that we found our first solution, or our sum to our addition problem, we need to now find the difference between what we have and 100. So we know that we're going to start with the 100 because that's what it takes to fill up the whole thing, and take away the 55 that we already have. What we do now is go through and counting our tens, count up our tens and singles to see how many we have left. We have 10, 20, 30, and 40. So the students are used to, we usually write really big in there to cover it up to show that we counted 40 here, and then our singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we just write that in here. So then we know that 100 take away 55 equals 4 tens or 40 and 5 singles. This provides the students a simple way that when they're subtracting with 100 that they can visually see what they're doing in order to add up to the 100. Subtracting with our double zeros is a very challenging, usually objective for the third graders. So this allows them the first step to start seeing how these numbers work together. We'll try one more that creates a 10 with our singles. Mrs. Tuttle had 34 shoe stickers, then she got 28 per stickers. How many stickers does she have now, and how many more does she need to get to 100? Same thing, we're going to make sure that we know the colors or the numbers that we have with our colors, what they're going to be representing. We see we have 34, so we know we have 3 tens, 2 and 3, and we have 4 singles. We're then going to go to our second number, 28. We always do our tens first, so we have 10 and 20, and then we're going to start our 8, filling up our missing row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We notice it fills it up, so we go to our next blank and do our 7, 8 in our blank row of 10. When we come back here, we now can say 34 plus 28 equals, we'll count up our 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So we have 6 10s or 60 and 2 singles for 62. So we know 34 plus 28 equals 62. Now we need to go to discover how many more do we need to fill up the whole sheet. So we know we need 100 on the whole sheet, and we already have 62. So we'll write our 100, take away 62, and then we'll go over here and count up our 10s first. We have 10, 20, and 30. So write it really big in there. And then our singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And write that in here. So then when we go back over here, we know that 100 take away 62 equals 30 and our 8. So we can see here, sometimes what happens when you're looking at these, sometimes they would say, well, if there's a 30 and there's a 20, it's going to be a 50. So this provides them with the visual so they can actually count how many more they need to get to 100. And then eventually we'll be taking this grid. We're going to work with number lines this week, so they'll be practicing grids and number lines. And then eventually we'll move into the algorithm. Hopefully this would help provide some assistance on your homework this week. As always, if you have any problems, please feel free to email me or send the packet back in with your child. I'll be happy to work with them. But hopefully this will help you this week. Have a great week.